we are in a new era, Craig. And this if you like it or not, I don't care if you like it. It is what it is. We are
Really?
in the NIL revenue sharing era of college football. So before, I guess a couple years ago, you couldn't play players over the table. You had to pay them under the table, maybe. And all this stuff about benefits and name, image, likeness, it didn't exist. And then they had this court case and all these, settlements and all that stuff. Earl Hilton can give you a whole walk down. That's his wheelhouse. Make a long story short, now you got to pay your top athletes in your revenue sports if you want to have a successful team. So A&T is entering that new frontier. And how we do that, we got to get more resources. We got to get more support from our base. People watching this show, I hate to break the news to you, but you are the base, okay? You're the diehards. We got to get you guys in the fold, and we got to get new people. And so I want to bring on to the show for the first time, and this is my true honor. Mr. He needs no introduction, but you say these two names and automatically you think of just Aggie excellence. Let me bring into the show. He's going to talk about that giving campaign and a lot of other stuff. But first time ever, Mr. Willie Deese. What's going on, sir?
Samaj, Craig, good evening. It's my pleasure to join you.
Oh, man. So this is a true honor for me. I know you and Craig met the other night at the AAF fundraiser. That was a great event. Nice little mixer they had over there. Was that George K's, Craig?
Yeah.
The George K's? Yeah.
George K's last night.
So I didn't get a chance to come out there, but you guys had a chance to rub elbows, and I guess you give him some more details about this plan. So for people who are under a rock, right, and they don't understand what's going on, we have a new family. We've been beating up the drum on this. We finally have a new athletic capital giving campaign, and you have some leadership role in that. Can you just describe and tell us what it's all about?
Happy to.
Okay.
But let me set the stage first. You've already started.
Okay.
Over the last couple years, actually over the last 5, college athletics has changed dramatically.
Right.
The two big things that changed are the transfer portal and the name, image, and likeness, NIL. And if you distill it all down, it means a couple of things. Literally, every player that's on your team can be a free agent every year. So that means if you've got a star running back, receiver, quarterback, edge rusher, whatever, and somebody's looking at him, they can come in and offer him money. They offer him enough money, he's gone. And the player can decide, I don't want to be at A&T anymore, and get in the transfer portal to see who in the universe of football teams, if we're using football as an example, it applies to all sports, who would like to have my services. So it did not look like that 3 years ago, but it does today. And so when you boil all of this down, we have to be in a position to pay players just like other teams, whether they be Power 4, I guess used to be Power 5, whether they be Power 4 conferences, mid-major, or FCS schools that we compete against. Everybody's figuring out how to do it. If we don't do it, we can't compete. Now, you all were talking about the last couple of weeks and how we've actually been competitive coming off 2 one-win seasons.
Yes, sir.
And each of those one-win seasons, we lost a fair number of players to the transfer portal and to NIL.
Yes, we did.
So either we decide to do something about it, which we're attempting to do, which we're gonna do. And the good thing is, I don't believe we have to be able to match dollar for dollar because A&T has so much to offer. but we can't be no dollar. No dollar doesn't work in 2025, 2026. You can't say, is Aggie proud enough to keep you here when someone is offering that young man or that young lady 40,000, 50, 200, $400,000 a year to come play for them. Now, I don't think we're going to raise enough money to pay a player $400,000 a year. I do believe we're going to raise enough money if the player wants to be at A&T, we'll be able to pay them and keep them. And that's what we're going to endeavor to do.
All right, so let me ask you this. So, and the name of this, so I got this correct. The name of this capital giving campaign, because I'm big on branding. I got to put a name on everything, right? I love names. It's called All Aggies, All In. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All Aggies, All In. And that means
all in. And you left something out.
Oh, get in where you fit in?
Get in where you fit in.
Okay. That is one of my favorite Too Short records too. I'm a hip hop fan, so if you like Oakland hip hop, check out "Get In Where You Fit In" by Too Short. But this is A&T "Get In Where You Fit In," and that's great because that's the call to action that I've been kind of harping myself on our platform. Is that we got to get a bigger tent. We got to bring people into our tent, and when you say "Get In Where You Fit In," people might not have as much money as others folks, but whatever you have is valuable to this cause, correct?
That is correct. And let me add to what you just said, okay. Samaj. I know a little bit about the A&T donor base because I co-chaired a couple of capital campaigns for the university.
Gotcha.
If you start comparing us to the big universities, where they've had endowments and philanthropy has been a part of their families for hundreds of years, you're comparing apples and oranges. We have some people who could say, I'm going to give you $1 million to athletics. We haven't had one yet, but we have some who could do that. That said, everybody can do something. And if we all do something, I'm convinced it'll be enough. If we all do our best, it will be good enough. And everybody's best is going to be different. That's why we say get in where you fit in. And what we're going to find is we're going to find someone. Well, actually, we already have one donor has pledged to give $125,000 a year for 5 years, for the next 5 years.
Good Lord, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. We've got another donor who has pledged to give $25,000 a year for the next 5 years. Another one who's pledged to give $20,000 a year for the next 5 years.
Right.
We've had 3, I think, who pledged $10,000 a year for the next 5 years. We've had some that have pledged $2,500 a year, and some that have pledged $500. So whatever you can do, there's a place for you in this campaign.
Well, let me ask you this, Willie. Why do you think those folks, those generous folks, why were they so optimistic and so motivated to do that? Because that's a commitment. I don't care if you got $1 billion. If you scratch off a check for $125,000 every year for 5 years, that's you're saying that I believe in this, right? You know, what motivated those people to do that?
I think number one, Aggies like to win. Just straight up, we like to win, and so I don't like going 1-11.
Nope.
I don't like going 6-25 in basketball. So I think what you see is folks who understand that if you invest in athletics, some people have this notion, well, that's just sports, and that's not part of the academic side of the university.
Right. I
disagree. Lou Saban was probably making, I said Lou Saban, the coach at Alabama.
Nick Saban.
Nick Saban.
Yes, sir.
Was making close to $10 million a year.
Yeah.
And on the surface, you say that's a lot of money. And it is. But Nick Saban made Alabama a whole lot more money than they were paying him. Because what happens is when you have a marquee sports program, students from all over want to come to your university. Sponsors want to sponsor you.
That's right.
You sign other advertising deals.
Yeah, corporate development opportunities.
Absolutely. So we are the biggest, and I believe, and I'm biased, baddest HBCU on the block.
Oh, without a doubt.
Except when it comes to giving.
Well, that hurts. Okay.
And I'm going to explain that a little further in the conversation.
Yeah.
Now, if we're the biggest and the baddest, and in this case, baddest being good, we ought to be the biggest and baddest when it comes to giving, particularly when nobody wants to see a winner any more on the field than Aggies. And then let's go back. Everybody remembers what we looked like in football before 2010. We had about 3 seasons where we won about 3 or 4 games.
We were 0-27 at one point.
Yeah.
Me and Craig can remember that.
And then we found Coach Rod Broadway.
Yep.
And everything changed. And, everybody talks about what Dion did at Jackson State, and I ain't taking anything away from Dion. But A&T was running black college football for 5 years.
Yeah.
There was us, and there was everybody else.
The golden era, I called it. Yes, sir.
And that was no accident. That was very intentional. And it's interesting. We became the largest HBCU in 2014. When did we win our first Celebration Bowl?
The very next year.
Very next year.
Yep.
Tariq had his coming out party in Atlanta.
Yeah.
295 yards. And he didn't play for almost a quarter.
He was dehydrated. Yes, sir.
If he had played the whole game, he probably would have had between 400 and 500 yards combined yardage. That game put A&T on the map. And we never stopped looking back for the next 5 years.
Well, Willie, I want to say this, though. Let me interject. It put A&T on the map, but we capitalized off that exposure. We just didn't, sit back and ask for, the manna to come from heaven. We promoted ourselves as the king of the block of HBCUs, and I think that resonated.
And we didn't just run MEAC football. We ran the MEAC athletics. There were years where we were winning half of all of the championships in the MEAC.
Okay.
That is no accident. But we didn't have NIL and transfer portal working during that period like it is now.
So, and I don't want to go too deep down this rabbit hole, but how do we take our eye off the prize, and what can we do to avoid doing that again? Because I believe, first and foremost, everything you touch, you are the A&T version of King Midas. Everything you touch, it turns to gold. So this is going to be successful. This endeavor is going. I'm not. There's no doubt in my mind. So once we get back on top, how do we avoid that fall from ever happen again? How do we stay in?
Again, all Aggies all in was very intentional, Samaj.
Yeah.
This shouldn't depend on Willie Deese or any other individual.
Gotcha.
Because if we collectively do this together, we're unstoppable. Now, think about this. We're asking every Aggie that's going to be at homecoming. You said it's going to be 150,000 people in Greensboro. Now, all of them aren't Aggies because they love a party. But people to send on Greensboro for A&T's homecoming. I don't want you to just come. You need to leave something. So we're asking you, if you're coming to town to party this weekend, if you're coming for homecoming, leave $100. And if everybody were to do that, we suddenly move from the bottom of the CAA in donations to we'd be at the top. So what we're saying is, and if you can't do 100, do 50. But as Martin Luther King used to say, if you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. You can do something.
Yeah, yeah.
And so whatever something is, I need you to do it this weekend.
And so that's the sub, I guess. You know, we got this awesome all Aggies all in, getting where you fit in campaign, but there's like sub campaigns intertwined with that. And one of those deals for the next 4 days, as people descend on Greensboro, and you're in the Sheraton, you ride around campus, you're going to your picnic at when you graduate from your school and all that stuff. All the next 4 days, right? There's going to be a push called Keep It 100 at GHOE, right? So basically, you know, that's the slang term, keep it real, keep it 100, right? Well, let's be literal about that. How about we literally keep it 100? Take a little bit of money that you was going to spend at the ABC store or the nail salon or our homeboys Chitlin Emporium on Bessemer Avenue, right? Let's just take a little, that one C note, and let's just put it to this All Aggies All In campaign.
Yeah.
And Willie Deese, the devil's in the detail. So is there any way that we can track that 100 is going specifically to this initiative?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
You're going to see QR codes all over the place.
My man. Yeah.
And when you do that, your phone on that QR code, it's going to take you right to it. And what's going to pop up is All Aggies All In.
All Aggies All In.
And all you have to do is check that box that says 100 or 50 or 25. And if none of those fit you, put in the block what you want that number to be. And you'll be fitting in where you fit in.
All right. So listen here. Everybody here likes to show off, right? You're trying to show that ex-girlfriend from 30 years ago that you got a good job now, and you're not the clown you were back in science class, right? Everybody comes to homecoming. They want to show off, right? There is, Willie, this is the truth. There is no better way for you to kind of do some high stepping than to flex your financial prowess with that Keep It 100 GHOE. So if you're gonna come into town this weekend, just go ahead before you even get to the mall. Just drop a C note, and then that's gonna be a way that you can verify. You might even put your name on some type of little leaderboard or whatever to say I was one of the ones that kept it 100. I don't know if the technology is in place right now, Willie, but if not, we gotta do it for next year. But I want to have a thing where you can call somebody bluff, where y'all in the Sheraton, y'all talking. Did you keep it 100 yet? Where your name at? Hold on a second. Okay, I see you right there. You kept it 100. I want to put people on blast because that's how we get motivated.
Well, you're speaking my language, Samaj.
Yeah.
Because what we asked people, and Craig was there last night, he invited me we asked them to, not only will you give 100, touch 5 people in your circle and ask them to give 100.
Oh, okay.
Because people often can be coerced, convinced.
Shame. I like the word shame. I like the word shame. That's my weapon of choice.
by their friends into doing things that they wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that for a little bit. And I want people to feel a little bit of shame tonight.
Yeah.
Because the largest HBCU in the nation, with 75,000 alums, 1,274 give back to the university for athletics. Let me say that again. 75,000 alums, 1,274 gave to athletics last year.
Okay.
That's 1.7%.
Gotcha.
Now, I'm not done. I'm not done.
Okay,
You got to listen to the rest of this.
Okay.
4 HBCUs raised more money for athletics last year than we did.
4 other HBCUs.
4.
And we the biggest and the baddest.
We the biggest and the baddest. 8 have a higher giving percentage than our 1.7%. 8. If you give me a minute, because I'm 70 now, my memory ain't as good as it used to be. I'll tell you who they are.
Oh boy, this is gonna hurt. Now so we got a lot of people who like to brag on Facebook against other HBCUs. That's like what they do all day. So this is gonna hurt their argument right here.
Yeah, because we ought to be a little bit embarrassed.
Oh boy,
I am.
Please don't tell me FAMU is one of them.
FAMU is the top.
Oh, not Jerry Curl Nation. You tell me Jerry Curl Nation.
FAMU is the top. But if you give me 1 second, I'm going to tell you exactly who they are.
So we already know that Jerry Curl Nation's beating us in the giving campaign. They got enough to get Curl Activator and donate to the athletic department. Good Lord.
And we just shouldn't feel good right now. I don't feel good.
Somebody in the chat said Grambling's up there. Is Grambling one of those?
Grambling. Yeah. Well, yeah. Let me talk about Grambling. Grambling's got 40,000 alums. We got 75. You know how many alums Grambling got given back every year?
How many?
4,000.
And we got 1,200.
1,274.
1,274. All right, so I'm pretty sure some other people said JSU is probably one of them. Oh man, so that's humbling. That is indeed humbling.
Yeah,
it is.
It's like Howard's in there too.
We can do better. We have to do better because, okay, here it is.
Okay.
4 HBCUs give more money than we give. FAMU, Grambling, Morgan State, and Alabama A&M. Now, 8 have a higher giving percentage. Our giving percentage, 1.7%. The ones who have a higher giving percentage, FAMU, Grambling, Morgan State, Alabama A&M, Tennessee State, Norfolk State, South Carolina State, Alabama State, Delaware State, and Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Peanut butter got more giving. Now that's where you got it. No, that's where I draw the line. Because I got friends that graduate from Arkansas Pine Bluff. Peanut butter, I can't. They ain't better us than nothing. All right, so look here. Obviously, Mr. Deese, we got a cultural issue. Coach Gibbs in the last press conference, he said that he challenged his players that there's some cultural issues with his program that's preventing them from getting over the hump. So there are some cultural issues with our alumni base and our fan base that is preventing us from realizing our true potential. Okay.
Yeah,
now,
and Maj, I gotta cut in because I want to build on your point.
Yeah.
When we were running the MEAC,
yeah,
and we had the Celebration Bowl Invitational that we'd invite other people to every year and whoop their behind.
The Invitational, yes, sir.
We didn't have NIL. We didn't have transfer portal. We could get away with what we were doing because we weren't given then either.
Yeah.
It doesn't work today.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play a little bit devil's advocate here. Okay. I will say that if you as an entity, organization, school, whatever, if you're asking for somebody to take $1 out of their pocket and put it in yours, the least you could do is make it easy for them. Okay.
Yep.
And so I think that's the onus now for us, A&T, the recipient. We have to make sure that we are technologically savvy and we have the infrastructure digitally to make sure that not only the donation process is efficient and up to date and cutting edge, but also the the verification. So you make sure that you know that your donation is going to the right place and being utilized in the right fashion. And also, as a marketing person myself, once I get your name and I get your phone number and I get your credit card, I got you, right? Because then I'm gonna be hitting you up. I'm like the pretty girl at the mall when you go in there for a shirt and she sells you on a tie and cufflinks and these pants make you look 20 years younger and you gotta get that hat. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep hitting you regularly with those emotional pulls to my database of donors. So I want a full campaign. Well, I just don't get that $100 once a year. I want to get that. I want to get that money. I want whatever the score was when we beat Campbell. I want to get that money from you. I want it the next time we beat Central. I want to get $50 from you there. Do we have a apparatus like that in motion?
Yes, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
When I got involved in this, I was clear. This is the last time I'm going to be involved in a major fundraiser for A&T. And I had a reason for it. Number one, people get tired of listening to the same voices. And I've never been one that says, I need the limelight, I need to be on stage. I don't need it.
Yeah.
There needs to be other folk carrying the message. So that's number one. Number two, I was clear, I don't want to be involved in something if we're not going to do it right. So I met with the chancellor, I met with the provost, and I met with the vice chancellor of finance for the university. And I was clear that if we're going to do this, we need to do it right. And they agreed. So they are putting the processes and the people in place to make sure that we can do it right. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to go from being the way we've been in that regard to being perfect overnight.
Right.
But if anybody goes online and tries to give online right now, I believe they'll find that it works.
Oh, no. As soon as y'all went live with the campaign, what was it? We were on our show right before our show. I got the email and I tested it out. I threw y'all a little 50 piece real quick just to make sure it wasn't broke. And I got an email and I've been getting emails constantly since then. I got like 4 emails. I ain't got 4 emails from A&T Athletic Department in like 4 years, and I got like 4 in a week. So something's different, And Willie, look. So I know you're a humble guy. You're just like me. You don't want to, Craig. I'm super humble. I never like to get attention on myself. But
yeah, right.
Willie, so I'm a big process guy, right? I'm the kid who opens a wristwatch just to see how it works, right? I have this intellectual curiosity about things, but I'm also a movie buff, right? Follow me. Just give me 2 seconds. So my favorite movie is Armageddon, right? One of my favorite movies. The asteroid comes to Earth, and all these guys, the smartest people in the world, the government, they say we got to figure out a plan. So we got to reach out to whoever it is, inside and outside this room. They go get Bruce Willis, who's on an oil rig, and they say we need your expertise. And then Bruce says, "I'll do it, but I got to get my team." Right? And so I just want to know the process, how you got this in motion. You're the Bruce Willis in this story. Everybody reached out to you to solve this problem. How did you go about prioritizing what to do first, and how did you put together your committee, that dream team, to help us avoid this asteroid that's going to destroy Earth? How did you save from Armageddon?
Well, my thought was, if you want all Aggies to be all in, bring all Aggies together on the committee. Craig's on the committee. We've got students on the committee.
Okay.
We've got athletes on the committee. We've got folks who are older than me on the committee. We've got folks who are newly graduated Aggies on the committee. So we wanted it to be representative of what all of A&T looks like.
Gotcha.
And we got 35 people on the committee. Ooh. Now, and actually, you'd think with 35 people, you can't manage that. But because all of these folks are committed to the same cause, we run a 2-hour meeting every other week, and we come on there, we talk about what we have to do and who's going to do what, and we go do it. It's easy when you got a common goal and a common objective. And the common objective and common goal is we want to see A&T successful. We want to see A&T win. And, you know, winning doesn't solve every problem, but solves most of them.
Man, I tell you, it sure does. Hey, and like you say, it's a twofold thing. First of all, you know, winning just is what it is. You know, you're feeling good about yourself, but it gives you credibility. When people, they might not know anything about your program, your athletic department, when they just look real quick online, they see, hey, you're defending champions. You know, you're doing this right there. They say, okay, this must be a well-run, a well-organized operation. Obviously, they're doing something right in order to be winning. And maybe if I invest capital in marketing dollars with them, then they'll help my organization. Everybody wants to be associated with winners.
Now, go ahead though, but let me say this.
Yeah.
The other beauty of what we're doing, if we hit $1 million this weekend.
Ooh, is that a goal? Is that a goal?
That's the goal. We want to raise $1 million. We need 10,000 people to do $100 or more. If we get that, we get $1 million. Now that seems like ain't nowhere in the world y'all gonna get that, and we may not.
Nah, no,
but it ain't gonna be because we didn't try.
Yeah.
And when we do it, be the first time that's ever happened at an HBCU in a weekend.
Wow.
How long you think it'll take others to adapt that strategy? Not long. So, but we've got a multi-tiered strategy. We want to do this with keeping it 100.
Yeah. We
are going to be securing pledges, as we've already started to do. We've already got pledges committed up to $215,000 a year. So we want to drive that up to about $800,000-900,000 a year. We want to keep doing keeping it 100, and then we've got several programs that the AAF has already started. The 1891 program, the $1 a day, $365 a year. There's a number of things we're going to be doing.
Now, like I say, Mr. Deese, the devil's in the detail, and I got a little bit of a, you know, one of those things that's near and dear to my heart was 1891, because that was actually the brainchild of me, my best friend Paul Gerald, you know, years ago in a parking lot during my lunch break. But you know, I'll be honest with you, it has never been executed to the way I envisioned it. But there's always time. I believe that each of these things you're talking about, the elbow grease that's going to push that stuff over the finish line, is the marketing aspect. And so my question to you is, are we in the process of building up a infrastructure of personnel, people, you know, who can help promote these things and not just hope they happen, you know, organically?
No, it's not. It is going to be very intentional.
Okay.
And we're going to put in what we have to put in to make it real. We were supposed to have 3 commercials ready to go by this weekend.
Oh.
We're only going to have 1.
Okay.
I'm not happy about that, but we'll get the other 2 done soon. We've got another campaign that students are going to do. Think about this, Samaj.
Oh, okay.
We've got students. We're going to have a contest. And that contest is going to be a TikTok contest.
Oh.
And the students, it's open to all students. The student who gets the most followers with what they put out there on the campaign will win the contest.
Oh, man.
They're going to win a prize for $500. Now, if you've got creative students thinking about how to promote All Aggies All In,
it's done. It's wrapped.
It's going to go viral.
Yeah.
And this is the beginning. The fact that you've seen all of this communication in the last few weeks, Craig will tell you, very intentional.
And I just got something in my email Craig, I just got something in my email. Was a scorecard. Are we allowed to show that, or is that proprietary? Can I?
Yeah.
You send out a
no.
Let me pull that to this. Let me pull that to the. Oops. There you go. So this is the. I hope you guys can see. You might have to zoom in a little bit, but this was the 2025, 26 all Aggies, all in. It's currently the scorecard, and basically, what that shows is, I got big up here. It says the number of donors so far is the goal is to have 1,800 new donors, I guess, total donors.
Let me take you through it.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Okay.
If you recall, this is a 5-year campaign.
5 years. Okay, gotcha.
So what we're saying is for the first year, these are goals.
Okay.
You heard me say earlier in this conversation that we have 1,274 donors when we started.
Yep.
At the end of the year, we want to have a minimum of 1,800 donors. That would be a 29% increase in the first year. We're looking to have a minimum of 250 donors. Now, when we created the scorecard, we were talking about people who made pledges or who were annual givers. So that's the number. But think about it. We're going to blow well past that number with the keeping it 100.
Yep.
So we're going to beat that number like you wouldn't believe. We got to get younger. Of that 1,274 donors, close to 70% of them are over 60 years old. That's a going out of business strategy.
It is.
So we have to get younger. So we want a minimum of 479 new donors under the age of 75.
Okay.
We should blow that out of the water with keeping it 100 this week. Dollars. We're saying we want to get to $1 million incremental dollars this year. We've already collected 184,000. That's cash in the door this year. And we've got pledges of around 215,000. So we're on the way to making this happen.
It's awesome.
We want pledges of a minimum of 816,000. We've done, actually, that's underrepresented. At the time we put this together, we were at 8%. We are already above 25% against that goal. And the number of pledges we're looking to get, this is different than the keeping it 100. We're looking to get 500 pledges this year. We're sitting right now with about 15 pledges. I had a boss that used to say he was the number 410th ranked player in the world back in 1968. And he used to say, if you ain't keeping score, you're practicing. We ain't practicing.
It's real.
We're keeping score and we're playing to win.
That's awesome, man. So, and that information, if you contributed to anything, I guess in the last couple of weeks, you probably got an email with that scorecard. Check your email. I just got it yesterday. One thing I will ask is for people like me who don't have that great memory and like the stuff you said resonates and those numbers and facts and figures, is there any way where you guys, maybe not tonight or even through the weekend, but maybe next week moving forward, when you got some time, can you guys create an official one pager that people can just download real quick? Because I might be arguing with somebody from North Carolina Central, and I want to use some of these facts to talk about what we're about to do and all this, that, and I don't have it in my hand. It's kind of hard for me to go through 12 emails. Is there any way you can put this so we can get a quick one pager of all the facts to help us make that argument? And also, in business, they call it an elevator pitch. By the time you get from the first floor to the third floor, you got like 2 minutes to sell yourself. So I might not have the gift of gab that Mr. Willie Deese has, right? Is there any way that you guys could give us I'm saying you, I'm talking about, the committee, just some quick talking points, right? This is about 5 or 6 bullet points. So when I go to church and when I'm arguing with the associate pastor who was a Central grad, I can say, the gospel says this, that's true, but let me hit you with these fun facts about why A&T is superior to Central. Is there any way you could give us some resources? That's my question.
The answer is yes.
Okay.
But if you pull the one that I gave you last week, it does most of what you just said. Now,
where's that live? Where's that live? What is the one you put out last week? Because I don't have it in front of me. Where's that live? That's my question. If we had one place, one-stop shop to get those resources, I can download real quick. Maybe if you got a website, allaggiesallin.com.
I talked to Todd Simmons about that yesterday. Actually, it was his idea, it wasn't mine.
Yeah.
We're going to create a repository.
That's it.
That will have everything in it.
Yeah.
And actually, that people might find, we can do what you just said, but people might find that that's better because if they can just go to it and pull what they want.
Yeah. Have like drop downs. Yeah.
It might serve them better.
Yeah. I think, I'm a web guy. That's my trade. So I believe in all ways you want to have, text message, email, smoke signals. That's all nice. But you always want to have as an official home, you want to have a website, and that's going to be where I get my scorecard update. I can get my donation if I forget to go to your link on the donation, and I can get my resources. A one-stop shop. Get a clean. This is my my suggestion to you. Get a clean URL, something like all we can figure out the title, but just have one place I can't forget that this slides off the tongue, and you can tell everybody, well, I don't know all the information, but if you go to blank, it'll be there. If we can get that. And before I say anything else, Dexter Hill, I go to church, St. Matthew's United Methodist Church. Don't play with me in my religion, brother. But I'm sorry, Willie. We got so many misfits in the chat that they be distracting me. So let's get back to the matter at hand.
But Samaj, let me give you one more.
Okay.
Fact and figure. And this ought to make Aggies ashamed.
Okay.
Or embarrassed, whichever one you want to take. Our student fees are the second highest student fees in the UNC system.
Ooh.
Those fees fund 58% of our athletic budget. So not only are we not giving enough, we're doing what we're doing on the back of the students.
Yes, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. We're better than that.
I probably need to say that again because I'm not sure everybody gets it. Craig, am I lying?
Telling the absolute truth. That's the absolute truth. It is embarrassing.
58% of our athletic budget is funded on the back of students. We have to do better than that.
Yeah. Give a quick shout out to Leander Turner. He got motivated by the call to action. He went and dropped he kept it 100, kept it 100 at GHOE already. It's only Wednesday night. So like you said,
Leander.
Yeah. And like I say, that's the call to action.
That's my brother. That's my older brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he got real pressure. But look here, everybody asks, every time I go out and about, and I'm wherever, they're like, hey, we love the show. We really love what y'all doing, right? And spoiler alert, we don't make no money off this show. This is all labor of love. But if you want to support this platform, if you want to support Inside the Valley and help us keep, have the energy to keep doing this every week, help out. Use your resources to help out this campaign. This is what me and Craig, this is our passion project. We want to help out the university. So go to All Aggies All In and get it when you fit in and donate, and especially this weekend. Because I want to, whatever the goal is, $1 million, I want to hit it. Forget about getting close. Because we're going to have it's gonna, you know, forgive my colorfulness. It's gonna look like a Tarzan movie out there on Saturday, right? It's gonna be a lot of people. All right, it's gonna be a lot of us. Okay, it's can we be honest about it? And I promise you, it ain't gonna be no Payless shoes. It ain't gonna be no Ross for less sweatshirts. Okay, this is gonna be Gucci down, Fendi belts, whatever the designer of the day is. So it's not like the $100 is not in your grasp, right? I'm just saying take a chunk off that because you're a big spender. You ride around in the rolls. Just take a chunk of that and give it to the Keep It 100 at Aggies, and make sure you designate it for that because I want to see that $1 million, and I'm super excited. We got a few more minutes. Mr. Deese, you've been so free with your time. I appreciate it. Can we pause something real quick though? I just want to go back to you and just show my reverence for everything you've done. I know you probably just want to move on to the matter at hand, but I got to take a step back because when you go on campus, right, and you just ride around and you see some of your generosity in motion, is you go to, of course, the Deese School of Business, right? That was named after you for your generosity and your leadership, right? You also you go to the student union. There's the Deese Ballroom. We have our press conference there sometimes. And of course, you just go in the middle of the campus and you look up, and that's the clock tower, the watchtower, and that's the Deese watchtower. First, let me ask you this. Just go back to the beginning. What made you feel the need to not only say, yeah, I'm a A&T alum, but I want to go over and beyond what everybody else thinks, and I want to just really just do some transformational stuff. What was that impetus for you?
I would say there was three things, Samaj. Number one, I didn't set out to do it. That was never my intent. But I'm a country boy, grew up on the farm, one of 9 children. My parents, dad went to the 6th grade. My mother went to the 11th grade. But those two people worked their fingers to the bone to make sure their kids would have an opportunity to go to school. And never took anything for themselves, but poured it all into us. Then I got to A&T, had dean and assistant dean, Dr. Craig and Dr. Pogue, and they did the same thing. And went into corporate America and had some mentors that did the same thing. So when you've been blessed that way, it would be selfish and inappropriate for you not to do the same. And so those are the things that motivated me. It was never a plan.
Well, I tell you this, we're grateful, and not more than that, we are inspired, because that's one thing I think we talk about, a cultural shift. Like or not, you got to have a leader to show you the way to change or to grow your culture. And I think we can follow you as a living example of, this. And it's not like you just throwing away money like you at Vegas and you're just making it rain or whatever, right? You're putting your resources into things that you believe have value, and you're making an investment, right? You're not just throwing it out on the crap table. The Deese School of Business is going to shape the next generation of business professionals, right? That watchtower is going to lighten up the whole campus of the next generation of Aggies. So you're not just, you're doing something. And that's the same thing with this campaign. When you go all Aggies, all in, getting where you fit in, by donating, you're going to be helping the next generation of student athletes who are going to be graduates, who are going to be giving back to the university.
And let me just say one thing about it. It would be easy for people to say, oh, you guys are just raising this money so you can pay athletes. we have student athletes who show out in the classroom.
Oh yeah.
16 of the 18 teams. And it's in that letter from last week, Samaj. 16 of the 18 teams have grade point averages of 3.0 and above. 160 of the 354 athletes were CAA academic honor roll.
Oh yeah.
160 of them. And 14 of them have 4.0 averages.
Oh, whew.
Now, think about it, building on what you said a moment ago. We invest in them, they will invest in the future of A&T.
Right.
That's
And we have people on our show, Craig, tell them, we have people on our show who come back, guys who played here 5-10 years ago, and you wouldn't believe the great things they're doing in their professional and personal lives. You know, it's just always a great success story, and they always credit A&T.
Started their own business.
Oh yeah. I mean, some true Renaissance people, men and women. All right, so we got a couple more minutes here. Let's get, if there's any pertinent questions in the chat, I'll filter them and maybe present some to Mr. Deese. You know, we got a problem with misfits on our side. I don't know if you've been to the A&T fan forum, but it's a wild place, man. I tell you. But we have some questions. If you guys got some questions for Mr. Willie Deese, put it in the chat, and he'll be here for the next about 5 more minutes. Craig, before we do that, while we do that, can you give us a little quick recap of last night? You had your kickoff AAF mixer for homecoming. How did that turn out? And you know, give me some details about that.
Yeah. The Greensboro chapter has ever attempted something like that as part of wanting to grow the AAF's donor base and to get people more involved in the all-in campaign and try to, it's just a span in all directions as far as bringing in younger people, people who were unaware of what the AAF was all about, and how they could join, how easy. A lot of people had been put off in past years because they thought it was for those big money people, you know. Yeah. That was the reputation that it was floating around for so many years. So we wanted to change that image and know that this is a grassroots campaign from the ground up and not from the top down. So that was our philosophy in putting together the fundraiser mixer social hour last night, and our first time at attempting it, and it was a big success. We knew going in as a first time event that it was going to be a testing ground and to see what kind of response we've got, and we were very fortunate. We brought in 13 new AAF members last night.
Oh, my
which
man!
I'm really happy with. Our chapter over the last 3 years has grown from about 35 or 40 people. Now we're up over closing in on about 170 members now in the Gate City chapter. So we've been doing a lot of, you know, knocking on doors and getting the word out, trying to, through automation, getting our systems automated so we can get contact and information out. And the more information you can put out there, the more people want to get involved and ask more questions and dig deeper into it. So it falls right in hand with what we're doing now with all Aggies, all in. I think it's a big step that we have to take to be competitive. And I think once we get in the habit of giving without thinking about it, and that's the big thing, because when I was asked to be on the committee, I didn't know exactly what to expect. But after the first couple of meetings, I said, well, let me go ahead and click that box, go in there and click that box for the next 5 years, and let's get to it. So, you know, That's the only way you're going to be able to. All Aggies, we as Aggies love to gripe and complain about. Well, we don't have this, we don't have that, we don't have this, you don't have that. What you do have is the mechanism and the desire to go out and change your circumstance. If you're not willing to change your circumstances, then it's all for naught. We have an opportunity now to really pick up the ball and not only run with it, but I mean just take it all the way to the house with this. My philosophy is, listen, you don't have to give. Most people out here don't have $10,000 to give away. And let's be perfectly honest about it. The average person doesn't have that, but the average person can do $1 a day. $1 a day for a year is what? $365.
Yep. Well, that
do
makes
that.
A difference.
If you do that for five straight years, you've put in roughly $2,000 into the budget, and that can fit with it. That can fit with most people's budgets. I mean, being realistic about it. I know there are going to be some people that won't be able to do that much. Some going to be able to do a lot more. But that average right in there, $2,000 over a 5-year period. If we can get 20,000 people just to do that, just do a 365 check or a credit card one time a year for the next 5 years, we'd be in hog heaven.
You absolutely would, Craig.
Well, let me go to questions.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, let me ask a quick question from the chat. ODB want to know, will there be any AAF accounts created across the social media platform? So basically, I heard people chatting. They said they're not seeing this stuff being promoted on social media, right? And you said there's going to be TikTok contests and things like that. But would there be like an official Aggies All In Twitter?
The answer is yes. Start to look for it in the next 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that's affirmative. There was another question. A&T Roy. When I talk, Mr. Deese, when I talk about misfits and people you got to watch out for, this guy A&T Roy is one of the ones I was specifically talking about. But he asked the question: Are they doing anything specific to get former A&T athletes? And we got some great former players to give.
Well, let me talk about that.
Okay.
We have, I said we got a 35-member committee.
Yeah.
Alan Hooker is a member of the committee.
I mean,
Maceo Boland is a member of the committee.
Murder Mace. Yeah.
And I've got friends who were on the football team when I was a student. And so literally, we're doing exactly with everybody. That's why we said all Aggies all in. We're leaving no stone unturned. And I know that there are some raw feelings between some of the former athletes and the university. And we got to fix that. Yeah. So the answer is yes. This literally is all Aggies all in.
Okay, a couple more questions before we let you go. Here's a good one. This is Maurice Leary. What is the strategy to win corporate sponsorships, and do we look to explore internationally? Okay.
The strategy to win corporate sponsorships is just like you do in a university campaign. We're going to reach out to them, and we're going to ask for money.
Okay.
And some are going to say no, and some are going to say yes.
Now, when you say we, is there a designated person? Because this is, my personal belief is if you want something done, you got to put somebody in charge of it who has the risk of getting fired. Okay, like somebody has got to have some serious, skin in the game to get stuff, big things done. So, are we going to have a designated person who's going to be that corporate development, athletic corporate development officer to reach and try to broker those deals?
Well, obviously Earl's got to have a hand in that.
Yeah.
I will be involved in it, and there will be several other members of the committee involved.
Okay. Let me see. This is not a question, but Mr. Terry Tyler said I'm going to do a pledge tonight for 5 years. So
Terry, we thank you, man.
Thank you. And we're gonna be checking.
Yep.
If we don't see anything by midnight, you can be considered a jive turkey this weekend. So you got about 3 hours to make it happen, brother. Real quick. Let me see. Here's a good question. How many new AAF chapters have been created? You might not know this question because it's AAF, but I think we put this out here because I heard a lot of people asking this. How many chapters have been created in the last year, especially in the Southwest and West Coast? Is there any? You might know the answer, might not, but is there any thought process of kind of expanding our chapter base? Anybody know that question? Answer, Craig. Willie?
Craig, I don't know the answer. I would defer to you on that one.
Yeah, there are people within people are discussing activating chapters. Chapters have to be maintained, and I think that's the biggest thing. Is you really need to look at what your numbers are to create a chapter. To be perfectly honest with you, I think you need at least, to be an effective chapter, you probably need to have at least 50 people within a 50-mile radius to really make it effective. But I think if you're interested in opening a chapter or expanding a chapter, then you need to contact the AAF office or Darnell Brame or Shamika Python and to go through that, because there is a process to do to establish a chapter. I would love to see one in the Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth area. Would be great.
We got a bunch of folks in H-Town. I'm from Houston. Yeah, we got a bunch of people in Houston.
Yeah, Houston.
My former roommate, Steve Brown III, you're probably watching this. He was asking me about ways he can get involved, and so I'm gonna get Steve Brown. He's a big time dude over in Sienna, Texas, and I'm gonna get him to start. I'm gonna tell him to be the trailblazer out there and get something in Texas.
Yeah. If he would, my advice to him would be to contact as many of his A&T alumni that are in that area that he knows of, or A&T graduates that he knows of, and see and talk to them about forming a chapter and getting them to sign on as members of the AAF. Get them to sign on as into the All In campaign.
Yeah.
And we can go from there as far as them forming a chapter. But I would defer that the specific pieces of putting that together would need to go to the AF office on campus.
Okay, so what I'll do
is give you that contact information. If you want to put them in contact with me, that's fine.
Yeah, I would. And what I'll do is I'll
make sure that I'll get the answers for.
Yeah, I'll reach out to Shamika and Darnell next time but probably this weekend when I'm on campus somewhere, and I'll find out a method on what they need to do and who they need to get the ball rolling. Because one thing about this whole process, and we're about to get off the air right now, but one thing is the talk is over, right? One thing A&T Aggies can do, we can talk, and we got the gift of gab, but now we gotta show and prove. And time is running out. The world is changing so rapidly, not just in sports, but everywhere. And if you hesitate, like somebody told me at the lunch table in Houston, Texas, Westbury High School, when I was playing dominoes, and I was trying to get the bills paid on the dominoes table, Willie Deese. You don't know nothing about that dominoes game. Somebody said if you study long, you study wrong. So you're gonna have to make it move and slap them bones down. So that's what we gotta do now. We know what the situation is, we know what the challenge is, and we know the process of accomplishing that task. We got the number one leader in modern A&T history. We got Willie Deese, King Midas. He touched it, so it's gold. So he put this process together. We're going to follow his lead. The resources are going to be made available We go, probably next time we go on air next Wednesday, we'll have a URL, or we'll have some type of website, that one-stop shop. Willie Deese, now that I got a track to you, I don't got your number, but I got Craig's number, and Craig got your number. So one thing about me, I am one of the smartest 5 people probably on the planet. So I got a lot of great ideas, and I don't have, that's true. Everybody in the chat can agree to that, but I don't mind sharing my ideas. So and they come rapidly, like in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, I get this brilliant idea. So I'm gonna write down when I wake up all my ideas. I'm gonna send them to Craig, and he's gonna give them to you. And if y'all want to use some of them, you can. You can give me whatever. But yes, sir.
I've never had a good idea that I wouldn't use.
Yes, sir.
I give credit to the author, and I try to make it better.
Man, and that's me. And so we're gonna get all the top brains from our platform, and like I say, don't get some young people involved. We got to get younger with this movement. And I think one thing we can all agree on is that everybody who's watching this, even the haters in Durham, who still, we picked up about 20 new fans since we lost to Durham, we lost to Central. They love the program. They come in there to start messing the chat. But we got so many people who know the strength of A&T and what it can be, that shining house on the hill, right? And so we just got to get organized. That's the only thing that stopped us. So I'm gonna give you the last word, Mr. Deese. We're about to get out of here. This has been a great night. What's the final message you want to give to the A&T fans as they begin to celebrate A&T's homecoming weekend?
All Aggies, all in. Get in where you fit in. Run the CAA and win championships.
That's it.